everyone! In today's video, I'm very excited to share with you the next printables that we're going to use in our little golden book. Now, the printables that I created are sized to fit this format, just because it's a good size, and I know these are widely available in the parts of the world where most of you are from. So that's how I created it, because I wanted it to be as kind of easy to use as possible. You can resize the printables, but yeah, you just have to be familiar with, you know, your printing software and all those things. So please take that under consideration. If you're in my watercolor workbook course, you get the printables as part of the course. There are going to be more. This is the second signature that we're doing. The first signature was dedicated to swatches, and it comes with several different possibilities. Now, I actually made, the tubes are probably my favorite, just because it looks so, you know, sketchy in the good way. But whatever floats your boat. The mixes actually has a few more options, and I wanted to show them to you today. Now, I got questions on the paper that I'm using. So I'm using this paper which I had in my stash. This is Lana watercolor paper. It is hot pressed. They say it's 300 GSM, 140 pounds. It doesn't feel like that to me. It feels lighter. And in this particular case, it works well for our purposes. I do recommend, if you can find like a nice paper that you like to use and handles water well, for a sketchbook, I think the 300 GSM is a bit overkill. It's unnecessary, it's too thick, it takes up too much room, and some papers don't handle folding very well. So this is Arches paper, for example. This is, I think, the rough one. And after a couple of times that I folded it, it's just, as you can see, very cleanly ripped apart. So yeah, not ideal. Arches is beautiful paper for painting. In this instance, it is not fitting at all. You could, what I would consider doing is just putting a piece of washi tape in the middle, and then it'll still bend. Like, I would put it on both sides. It will still bend, and you can use it in your sketchbook. So you can still use it, but it's just an extra step that, you know, we can avoid. So the original paper is 9 by 12 inches, and I have to cut it down to size to fit the little golden books, and so that the printables will also fit. And once you run it through your printer, you want to fold it in half so it can fit into your sketchbook. Now, before I put it in my sketchbook, I want to show you the designs of this printables. So this signature is aimed at mixing our colors, getting to know our watercolors, seeing what they can do, how they can mix. Super important stuff. And this is the title page. There are 13 pages altogether. And the way that I made it is kind of, I just tried to give you lots of options, and you can decide, you know, which format you like. So this is the first and last page. I just really like the setup. I think it's a cute, you know, cover to your signature. And then on the other side, this is one of the options. So once you know, kind of layer a few, you have to kind of think which pages you want facing each other. So if you, for example, prefer to have a spread that only has one kind of illustration, then there's an option for you to print the next page with this on that side. So you just have to kind of experiment with it. Also, every printer works a little bit differently, so you have to learn how to insert your paper in your printer. If you're using watercolor paper, any kind of thick paper, you want to feed it through some sort of tray where it just goes through your printer without folding or bending. So experiment and use, you know, thin, cheap paper before you commit to using your nice watercolor paper. That's my tip to you. So I'll show you the designs. There are 4 options for like mixing shapes, and the idea here that you put one color that you want to mix here, the other color on the other side, and then you have a lot of space to see what happens when they mix together. So this is kind of, I call it the long mix. This you could also put, you know, maybe like 3 colors and kind of see how that works. Here we have a shorter option, which is more of like a quick thing to give you an idea of how the colors mix. This is, if you recognize the image, it's from the Watercolor Workbook stamp set. I just really like it. It's cute, it's sketchy, you know, it does what it's supposed to do. There are like these 2 options, and then this is more based on that pen stamp from my stamp set. And here you have just like larger squares. Again, I would put, this is like a vertical thing, so I would put one color here and then the other color here, and then see what kind of mixes they make. And here's a smaller horizontal option. So I couldn't create all the combinations because that would be just like too much, but you have these options, and then I give you just pages with, you know, just the one. So if you prefer to use that, you can create a signature for each type of these, whatever you want. You have so many options. So these are these. And then I also created some with the tubes just because I really, really like it. So this is more like freestyle, free form, and I'll show you how it looks. But there are 2 options. Again, you can kind of mix and match them. There are printables which have one side with this look and the other side with this look, or you can just print one type. So this is one of these, and you see that with printers it's kind of hard to get it perfect all the time. So here, even though in the printable this image reaches all the way to the end and it's properly sized and everything, my printer, I guess, didn't really like it. So I have here like 2 millimeters where there's nothing, but you can go with a pen if that bothers you, and just add the lines. So this is one version, and then this is the other. Again, I try to always find compromise between still having space to play and also getting as many colors in one page as possible. So these are, you know, they could be bigger, but then you would get less paint in. So I just like the look of this. I think it's like super cute. So yeah, once you fold them, you want to, I'll fold these 2 as well. I like to use a bone folder because it really flattens that crease. It's no big deal if you don't have it. So like this. This time I did 4 pages for the signature. The previous one has only 3. And this is how it looks. So this is just like a random arrangement, and here in your sketchbook I would put this in the middle. Actually could fit 4 signatures with this type of binding, and there we go. So this is ready and waiting for you to play around with your watercolors. So I'm going to do a few examples, and if you want to see the entire process, you're welcome to join us at Watercolor Workbook. It's a really fun course, very beginner friendly, so I'm going to do the entire process for the participants in the course, but I'll show you how it looks when we're done, just like show you the different options. So yeah, I hope you will join us in the classroom, or if you prefer to just get the printables, that's fine too. You're welcome to enjoy it. You know, the nice thing with printables, you can make as many as you want. The goal of this sketchbook is to get familiarized with your watercolors, have fun with it, see what they can do, and start already creating your reference book, which you can use then for, you know, the rest of your painting days. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I'm going to mix some colors now.